guys, welcome to my channel where I share how to live a happy, healthy, independent life as a quadriplegic. My name's Olivia, and today I'm going to show you what I carry around in my backpack to make sure I have things with me in case I get a flat or have all my bladder supplies and everything that I need when I'm out and about. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing, so my backpack is usually on my chair. I just use the handles on my chair to carry it around. So I'll just take this off now. So in terms of the backpack, so I've tried quite a few different backpacks, and I've had some issues with some backpacks that are more square, where the zipper will get kind of stuck in the corner, especially without my hand function. So I find having a backpack that's having more of a round kind of big zipper type thing is a bit easier, is a bit better for people without their hand function. And I personally really like the Herschel backpacks. First of all, they're kind of steezy, and they also just don't have a lot of pockets that you have to unzip or grab things out of. So they're just simple and they work pretty well. So for this one, there's actually a couple pockets on the side here to put your water bottles in, and then there's just the front pocket in the front where I usually have my parking pass, as well as a card holder thing that I have, and I'll show you all of that. And then for inside the backpack, there's just a big pocket and then a computer pocket at the back. So opening up the backpack, so I'll put some key rings of where the zippers are to be able to open it. It's just nice, easy to open with those more round zippers. Then inside the backpack, I'm just gonna see if I can show you guys this. So there's there's just the back computer pocket where usually my cutlery and wallet lives, and then there's just a main pocket where I put my emergency flat stuff and then also my bladder bag. So I'll just put the backpack aside, and then at the end I'll just show you how I repack everything. But right now I'll just go through everything that's in all my little bags and stuff. So at the bottom of my backpack, I'll have everything that I need in case I have a flat. And I've made a separate video about this that tells you all the equipment that you need in case you get a flat. So you can take a look at that. There's a card there, and I'll put it at the end of the video as well. One thing that's different is I actually found this electric pump, so I just have to remember to charge it. But you basically can have all the attachments that you need, whether you need a pressed out shredder valve, or if you need a valve for to pump up your car tire, or a balloon and stuff like that. There's all the different valves that you need for that. And basically the tubing for it is just right here that you can screw in, and then you basically can turn on the pump. So you have to just make sure that you charge it, turn on the pump, put the PSI that you need in the tire that you're blowing up, and then you just press on, and then it just blows up the tire, and once it's got the right PSI, it'll just stop for you. So it makes things really nice and easy. The only thing is that you have to remember to charge it. So yeah, so that's the one thing that I've changed from that video, and one thing it's a bit heavier, but it's a great thing to have in your backpack because it's nice and easy to pump up a tire. Then I have my emergency flat tire bag. So with that, usually I like to have something that has a little bit of a handle so it's easy to grab, and then I will show you what's in there. So the first thing is just a Ziploc bag with there's just a charging cable for the pump, and then there's all the extra pump attachments in case you want to blow up a balloon, blow up your car tire, or anything else. So I'll just put that in there so I have that in case of emergency. Then obviously a spare tire, just in case I do have a flat. And for me, I use a 24 by 38. So, but it depends what you're kind of using, what kind of tires you need. So there's just a spare tube here. And then I have my, also like a patch kit, just in case like you do have a small hole and you can just, you just need a patch kit to kind of use it. So I'll have a spare one of these in there. And I do have like a mini pump, just because it's nice and light, and it's just in case like this pump's out of battery and I do need a pump. So I have a mini pump there that that I keep in my emergency bag. Then I have my 2 tire levers, and that's just basically to be able to pop the tire out, so you can like take the tube out. And I usually use 2 because you can like open one side and then open the other, and then you can go around the wheel to easily take the tire out. So the next thing would be your Allen keys. So it depends whether you're using like imperial or metric. Allen keys, just making sure that you have the right Allen key for the right bolts on your chair. And then the last thing will be my screwdriver. So with the screwdriver, you can get like the mini ones, but what I found with the mini ones, it's harder to reach things because it doesn't have that longer neck. So it's better to have a kind of like a medium screwdriver that you can just have in there, just to be able to reach things a little bit easier if you're out on the go. Eventually, instead of having like the screwdriver and then the Allen key, which can take quite a bit of room and can be a little bit heavy, I'd love to get this bike tool from Selka that has basically like all the Allen key ends into it, and as well as the screwdriver, and it's all put into like a little like pouch to make things nice and easy to transport. So eventually I'd like to get that, but they're a little bit expensive. It's around like $200, so kind of waiting to have the actual funds to buy that. And everything that I'm talking about here, I'll put it in the description below if you want to take a look at it. So that's basically my emergency kit. So the other thing that I always have with me is my bladder bag. And I've just made a video about this where I show you how I basically end up cathing and all the equipment that I use and why. So if you want things in more details, you can check that out. I'll put a card up and then the video at the end as well. But there's basically like my pee bottle that I use, which is like a blender bottle that's leak proof. It's got like a flip up lid, so it's easy to open up and close and easy to pee into it. And then I have my wet wipes, which I use to kind of like wipe my hands and wipe my stoma. And then catheters, so whatever catheter you're kind of using. And I usually try to keep 10 to 15 in there just to make sure that I have enough with me. And then the last thing that I have in there, because I have a Mitrophanoff and my stoma can give a little bit of liquid sometimes. So if I have a weird bladder day, sometimes I can end up leaking. I have a Ziploc bag with some stoma patches that I keep in there to be able to put on my stoma in case I do have a bit of a leak, or if I'm wearing something light so I don't end up staining my shirt. So that's it for the bladder bag stuff. Oops. No hands, no problem. And then now I will show you what I have in there individually. So all the things that I keep basically in like the computer pocket of the backpack. So I'll have my adapted fork and spoon. And then I also keep a steak knife, because I find like just this one has like the handle is like nice and large, so it's easier to grab. And I've made a little bit of a case for it so I don't end up like cutting myself when I go in to reach it, or end up cutting the backpack. And then with the steak knife, I also have like a glove to be able to hold the steak knife. And I do have a separate video where I show you how I end up cutting my food, cutting a steak, if you want to take a look at that. And again, I'll put it in the cards and I'll put it in the videos at the end in the description. So usually like those three things, all my cutlery stuff, I end up putting it in like that back computer pocket. Then I'll carry around with me also my pair of gloves that I usually use if it's like raining outside or if it's wet, just because like my hand rims get really slippery. But apart from that, I don't really use gloves to wheel myself around. And I do have a video where I talk about my hand rims and the gloves and everything that I use as well. And then I also put like my wallet either in that back computer pocket or in the main pocket. And this is just where I have like my IDs, my cards, and everything else. And then in the front little pocket, I'll have an extra parking pass. So I normally have a parking pass in my car, but I also have like an extra one in case I'm traveling with somebody and I need to use a disabled spot. So I just have an extra one in my backpack. And I also kind of like to play like board games and stuff. So I have this like card holder that's in that front pocket as well. Okay, so that is basically everything that's in my backpack. So now let's back the backpack up. We'll start with the front pocket. Where I usually put like my card holder. And then my parking pass. Then in the main pocket, so I will grab my emergency flat kit and put it at the bottom of the big main pocket. We'll also grab the pump, which is quite heavy, so and put that at the bottom. And then grabbing my cutlery that I put in the computer pocket in the back. The glove. To hold my knife. And then the spoon, and then my steak knife. And I just put this on the, like in the pocket in the back. And then I'll have the gloves that I usually use if it's raining out there. And then I will grab my bladder bag here. And I put that in the main pocket. And finally my wallet that I usually have either put beside the bladder bag or in the computer pocket at the back. And then closing down my bag. And then on the side as well, I have my actual water bottle that I have here. That I can put in my side pocket. And there you go. This is basically what I've been carrying around in my backpack. So So again, if you want to take a look at any of the equipment that I've been using or the videos that I've suggested, you can take a look at that in the description below. And also feel free to share this with anybody you believe would benefit from something like this. And thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.